Ready to create a sales generating webinar? You're gonna need 3 things: research, engaging content, and a strong call to action. Today on Marketing Tools and Tech, I'm gonna help you with all 3. All right, welcome back. Today we're covering how to create a sales generating webinar. There are plenty of ways that you can create a webinar, but if you want to create a webinar that actually makes sales, well, there are only 3 things that you really need. And the first is research. So first is you have to understand what your ideal client wants. You want to not only know what they want, but you also want to know what their current beliefs are around what they cannot do. So what are they not able to achieve? What's holding them back? What fears, doubts, frustrations do they have? These are a lot of the things that I cover with my clients when we get started on creating a webinar, but I'm going to share that with you today. So you want to make sure you research into their struggles, their fears, their doubts, their hopes and their dreams and their wishes, and all of those things you need to know before you even start or create the webinar. Now, this research process, which is a huge part of marketing, sometimes takes a lot of time. It takes time to refine and test and tweak things and figure out exactly what your ideal client wants. But once you have this research completed, it makes everything else so much easier. And if you don't have this research done, well, then it makes everything else that much harder. So there are a couple different places that I like to get my research. I like to do some research phone calls, and this is actually a process that I share inside of the absolutely free 5-day Gain More Clients challenge. So if you're interested in figuring out what to say on those calls and how to get that research, then you definitely want to join that challenge. I'll leave details in the description box for that. I like to do research calls. I also like to search inside of a website called Quora. I'll use Facebook groups. Sometimes I'll go in on LinkedIn, but really my main place is going into like a Facebook group, typing in the topic, and then looking to see what people have been asking about it. So one of the ways that I created this video and this piece of content was I just searched the topic webinar in one of my favorite groups. And when I searched this topic in that group, I found out that people were asking, hey, my webinar didn't make any sales, so how can I actually make sales? And so that's why I created how to create a sales generating webinar. Everything that you do in marketing starts with the research. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you need in order to create a sales generating webinar is engaging content. A lot of times people believe that you have to have teaching content and that you need to share all of your tricks and your tactics and your strategies and just overwhelm people with all of the step-by-step how. And that's not necessarily true. But what you do need to have is engaging content. You need to make sure that that person is following you mentally along each step until you get to the end and actually make your offer. Because if they're not following along with you, by the time you make your offer, it's gonna fall flat. So you've gotta make sure that you have engaging content. That means not only sharing your results if you want to share your results, but sharing the results of your clients, sharing what's possible for them, giving them a visual of the other side. And not only that, but including parts of your process or parts of your strategy or the aha moments that your clients had. There are a couple of different things that you can include in your webinar to make it engaging content. And it's not just the slides, it's the actual content. So that's the second thing you need in order to create a sales generating webinar. The final thing that you need is a clear call to action and a very strong call to action. Now, as you go through your engaging content, hopefully you are giving them an idea that you're going to be making an offer. And I always recommend that you tell people up front, hey, I'm planning to make you an offer at the end of it. And that way your ideal client by the end of it knows, okay, even though I'm watching this webinar right now, she's still going to help me. Like if I need to work with her, I'll find out how to work with her by the end of it. And in your call to action, as you're leading up inside of your webinar, your strong call to action is, here's what you can do in order to work with me further. You can book a call. You can click this link and purchase this course directly or purchase this group coaching program directly. And when you do that, you've got to be very, very clear on exactly what they're going to see when they click that link. So don't just say, click here to book a call or go to this link in order to purchase. Walk them through the process. Scroll through the page, give them a visual of what it's going to look like, what button they're going to have to click, exactly what's going to come next, what information they're going to need to put in, and make that call to action super, super strong. Not only showing them, but also backing it up with other people, examples of other clients who did that same action, who took that same action and saw the results that this ideal client obviously wants because they're on that webinar. So that's the third step. Now, getting that research together so you can create engaging content and have a strong call to action is really the foundation of creating a client generating system. Now, this system and this process is the same system that I've been using with clients where they're able to not only spend $10,000 to get $100,000, but really create something that allows them to, over the next 12 months, earn as much money as they desire in their business. Now, this client gaining system that I've been using for myself and with clients is very powerful, and it's something that you can put into place in as little as 6 weeks. If you'd like to learn more about it, all you have to do is check out my latest training. It's called You've Got Clients. You can click the link in the description box in order to visit. When you click the link, you'll see the page for the training. I'll share with you exactly how to create a webinar that's very engaging. I'll share with you my process for booking clients from a webinar. And I'll also share with you how my clients are getting inexpensive webinar registrations so it increases their ROI that much more. In order to join the training, just go to youvegotclients.com/anti-webinar or click the link in the description box. If you have more questions, just leave them in the comment box, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one, or I'll see you on the training. All right, bye.